Oh, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the Smogon Classic. Well, this time we're doing the ADV Cup, Round 1, Advances Gen 3. For those of you that don't know, this would include Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Those games that we used to play on these things called Game Boy Advances or the Game Boy SP. Again, some of you might not know about that, but back in the day, those Nintendo 3DSs didn't have two screens. We didn't even have Nintendo 3DSs. We had one screen. And one of them didn't even have light. But in any case, I'm playing NaCl, sodium chloride, or salt. You know, that thing that some people actually had from my last or SOU live, for some reason, me using stall. But in any case, ADV is something that I haven't played in a while. It's something I very much love and enjoy, but I just haven't played it in a while. And as you can see by the screen, my opponent has a very interesting team for this game one, leading off of Hariyama, something you typically don't see as much in OU. Now, I know that Hariyama runs like Focus Punch, Cross Chop, occasionally HP, Ghost is an option, things like that, and Knockoff. Running Knockoff in this generation is a possibility, even though it's like 20 base power, so it's kind of like attacking you with like a little puppy, and you're like a Rottweiler, but it still gets rid of your items. So I lead off with Metagross as he leads off with Hariyama. Just going to fire off a Meteor Mesh. I get a crit turn 1, but it doesn't really matter because he hits me with a counter. Now, I knew the counter was an option, but I didn't think he'd have it on like lead Hariyama. But he knocks me out as I bring out my Salamence. Now, Salamence kind of invites in resistances to flying, and Hidden Power Flying is my best attack to hit him with. In this generation, flying is, no matter what the move it is, Hidden Power Flying or any type of flying move you could think of, they're all physical in this game. So that's why it's Salamence's best attack to hit this thing. Dragon Claw is special, if you guys didn't know, and things like that. So I decided to fire off a Brick Break, thinking he might want to bring in or reveal one of his flying resists right now. Because either way it would knock out Hariyama with the Choice Band, as he brings out Swampert and I actually crit him, bringing him down to half. So a little bit of luck early on in this game, as I am going to switch out into my own Swampert on the expected Ice Beam, as he goes for it and he crits me back. So some return karma. This team doesn't have the best Swampert switch-ins. It is like a CB Immense kind of Curse Boomlax spam team, but I go for Toxic as he brings out Starmie because I want to see what he would bring in. If he brought out Swampert, then I can weaken that for my my Salamence for later, but I miss as he is going to go for Surf as I protect, pretty much trying to get a bit of leftovers and see what he wants to hit me with. I was thinking he's defensive, but in any case, I'm actually going to switch out into my Snorlax, knowing that I could take any hit from this Starmie and retaliate back with the this thing actually doesn't have Body Slam, it's Shadow Ball, Earthquake. And this is CBB's team, but it's Shadow Ball, Earthquake, Self-Destruct, and Curse. So he makes a really nice double out into Hariyama, scouting for what I would want to bring in on Starmie. And I definitely have to get on out of there. So I'm going to go back out Salamence. I can get off the Intimidate. Ice Punch isn't run because Ice Punch is special. So Hariyama doesn't have that. He does go right for the knockoff, though, getting rid of my Choice Band. Look, it did 2. If we were in Gen 6, it definitely wouldn't have. As right now, I'm actually just going to fire off a Hidden Power Flying as he reveals the Skarmory. So I do have a Magneton on my team, and I am going to go right out into it because I can trap this Skarmory. But he makes a really nice double. Scouts for the Magneton, goes right out to Dugtrio, and he catches me. And I like that play. I definitely like that play because my Magneton is gone. But seeing as how I've seen Hariyama, Dugtrio, and basically his team so far, and I see that his only means for taking on Heracross is his Skarmory. My game plan now, especially now that I've lost Magneton, is getting rid of Skarmory and then going for game with sub SD Salic Berry Heracross. I don't know what his last is just yet, but if it's an Aerodactyl, if it's Salamence, if it's anything that's weak to Rock or Bug, I could take it on. And yeah, so I got to Heracross. I know he's locked into Earthquake because Dugtrio runs CB in ADV. So I'm going to go right for the Swords Dance as he brings out Skarmory. Now, Skarmory doesn't typically run Drill Peck or any attacks. It's sometimes Protect, Whirlwind, Spikes, Toxic. So I'm going to have to risk it right here and go right for the Hidden Power Rock, as he is going to phase me out into my Snorlax, and this is perfect. This is my way of dealing with him, because I knew that I can bait him to stay in if I go for Curse and try and phase me out. So I fire for Curse as he goes for Spike, and now I'm going to go right for Self-Destruct. Self-Destruct is broken in these generations, just like Explosion in past generations, all that base power, and I'm able to get rid of the Skarmory, and now it's time to get to work so I can start winning with my Heracross. So Swampert is my best play. I can't risk him going back out into Dugtrio, and pretty much I have to try and invite in something that Heracross can set up on. I can even set up on Starmie, even though it does have Psychic, as that is later revealed, because it's not going to be able to knock out Heracross. So he brings on Starmie as I go for Hydro Pump. Gonna go for Protect because it's in my best interest to have as much HP as possible. That way I can at least lower this thing with Toxic plus Earthquakes. If you guys didn't know, Leftovers actually goes at the end, or the beginning of the new turn. I guess that's, I don't know how you would represent that. The end of the turn? Well, you'll see later on. But he is going to switch out now, revealing Blissey, and that was perfect. I love that he showed Blissey right here, because what I can do is go right for Protect and pretty much just get the HP. I'm just trying to take on his Dugtrio, trying to take on his Swampert, as he is going to go out to his Hariyama. I decided right here that I'm just going to fire off an Earthquake as he brought out that Hariyama. I think he was expecting me to Protect just to get a bit more, but I wanted to scout the damage on Blissey. Pretty much I was willing to sack my Swampert at this point to get into Heracross, but because he brought a Hariyama and because I do see that I do get my Leftovers first, I know that I am faster, so I can knock him out with the next Earthquake, bringing my Swampert up to 90%. So Per is coming back as he is going to bring out his Starmie. And at this point, I can go for Protect, I can go for Toxic and try wearing him down. This is a tournament, guys, so I am doing my best to try and win, especially after he made that really nice Dougie double. It was a really good scout on his part. So he goes for Surf. It's not doing too much, as what I can do is just fire off a Toxic. And again, I can just wear him down. At this point, I could either switch on Salamence or I could go for the Protect right here, but he's going to bring out his Blissey. I actually did decide to switch out to Salamence because I wanted to scare out his Starmie, since I know he has Psychic, more than likely Rapid Spin. He could have Thunderbolt, but I fire for Brick Break as he goes for the Ice Beam right here. Now, Ice Beam might not have taken me out. He does get a crit. It doesn't really matter though, because now I can bring in the monster, the beast that we call, the Blue Beetle, my boy Heracross. So I bring out Heracross as Starmie is going to come out, and I set up a sub, and yeah, it's time to go for game. So he's going to fire off a Psychic. It will break my sub, but my best play is just going right for sub again. Pretty much trying to bring me into Swarm range as well as a Salic Berry. So I know that I will be faster at the end of this turn due to my Salic Berry activating, and I can go right for the Swords Dance. Dugtrio does not have Sucker Punch in this generation. It doesn't exist. He has no priority in his team. +2 Mega Horn. Oko's everything. It's overkill. So the only thing I have to worry about is hitting at this point. So I hit the Starmie, able to knock that out. Dugtrio is going to come out, and I miss. Now that was a 100% clean sweep if I hit that, but obviously I got a little bit lucky in this game with some crits, and I guess I didn't really expect him to come back, but it would have been a great comeback if I did manage to hit that. So at this point, it's just me trying to stall him out a bit with my Swampert. I went for Toxic right there just in case he randomly decides to switch out to Swampert. I want to try and weaken that thing, and he's actually firing off Earthquakes, Air Lace, excuse me. So I go for Double Toxic because I'm thinking, why would he want to sack his Dugtrio when he could come back in and hit me with Banded Earthquakes for a lot more damage than this 15%? But seeing as how he's persistent on this, or he's insisting on doing this, I'm actually going to go for Protect again. Try to get back a bit of Leftovers. It was really interesting to see his team. Hariyama was something I haven't seen too much. You know, typically standard builds. I mean, you have like the ADV King and T-Tar and things like that, and then Blissey's common as well. But in any case, I'm gonna go for Toxic on his Swampert, because if I get a few double protects, if I get like a double protect or a triple protect and I win a speed tie, I can knock him out with Surf. But that's not going to happen because he's going to crit with this Surf, and that's going to be a good game. So that's game 1. This is a best of 3. Here we have game 2. I'm leading off with Skarmory as he leads off with Sceptile. If he has Hidden Power Fire, it's not going to do too much to me. If he has HP Ice, he can't do crap to me. He's more than likely Supataya. So what am I going to do is go right for a Spike as he reveals his answer, which is this Zapdos. And I definitely don't want to stand. I do have a Jolteon on my team. If he goes for Sub, if he goes for Thunderbolt, I can phase him out if he goes for Sub. If he goes for Thunderbolt, obviously Volt Absorb, so he can't do too much to me. So he does reveal Sub, so I'm expecting a Baton Pass, which is why I'm going to go right for the Roar and phase out the Sceptile as Poliwrath is revealed to me. And at this point, I'm like, wow, does he not have a good answer to Jolteon? So I decide to fire for Thunderbolt as Tyranitar is going to come in now. That Tyranitar is going to take 36% from this Thunderbolt. So that's definitely not an answer. I don't want to stay in. I do have my Skarmory at pretty much full HP, so, or exactly full HP, so I know that I can phase him out if he tries to Dragon Dance up. Even if he tries to Rock Slide, flinch me, I mean, it's definitely possible. But he reveals the Hidden Power right there as I'm able to phase him out with the Whirlwind. I'm not sure, what is that Hidden Power? I don't think that'd be fighting. What is that? Would you run HP Rock on T-Tar? There's no reason not to run Rock Slide, so I'm not entirely sure. But I phase him out into... it's definitely not HP Bug because it wasn't super effective on me. It's definitely not HP Grass. So those are two hidden powers that I see on T-Tar. HP Bug and HP Grass. I go for Hidden Power Ice right here just in case he tried to go out into his Sceptile. Or reveal like a ground type that can take on the Thunderbolt. But I think he really doesn't have anything for this Jolteon. So I'm going to switch it up and go right for Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt plus HP Ice will be able to knock out Sceptile anyway. As he brings out Sceptile, I don't think HP Ice would knock him out, and I also know that it would bring him into range of his Pataya Berry as well as Overgrowth. So I decided to go for Roar right here, as he is going to go for Leaf Blade. As we force out a Smeargle. Now I thought this might be a sub Belly Pass Smeargle, so I decided to just go for Thunderbolt right here as he reveals the Extreme Speed. So I guess he's either banned Smeargle or something along those lines, something interesting like that. But I can reveal my Gengar at this point, and I decided to actually fire off, I believe, a Hypnosis because I don't really see a good switch in. His Tyranitar is low. It's Dragon in, so it's not going to have Pursuit anyway. Pursuit is special regardless, so it won't knock me out from full anyway. As I missed the Hypnosis on the Jirachi, I'm like, okay, it's fine. I have a 70% chance to hit the next one. As I do miss, unfortunately, as he is able to knock me out Psychic. We do see that he has Psychic, though, so we know that at this point, I can go out to Tyranitar, I can take him on. I actually decided to fire off an Earthquake first, because I know that after I Dragon Dance up, I'm not going to be faster than his Sceptile anyway, especially because Tyranitar in this generation typically runs Adamant. So I go for the Earthquake as Poliwrath is going to come out as... I don't want to say him because I don't want to risk him being a random max speed one. So I switch out into my Suicune as he makes a nice double back out on a Smeargle, expecting me to go out to something that can take advantage of Poliwrath, maybe my Skarmory. As I am going to go out to Skarmory now as pretty much Sleep Fodder as he decides to reveal the Trick right here. So he has a choice band in Smeargle, and it's fine because my Suicune does have Roar, so if this is like Trick and then some random setup move, even if he goes for Belly Drum, actually if it was Trick Belly Drum, I mean it wouldn't matter because Heater could take it on regardless. So I decided to go out to Suicune at this point because I can phase him out as he's going to go right for the Explosion. I mean, I haven't really messed around with CB Smeargle too much. I completely forgot about Explosion being an option. Again, the most common Smeargle I know is like the sub Belly Pass one. So he reveals his Sceptile right here. I know that I can bring out Megaros. The way that he switched out turn 1 versus my Skarmory, I'm pretty sure he's not HP Fire. Otherwise, he more than likely would have gone for it. But I reveal my Metagross, and I'm going to go for the HP Bug because it will be able to knock out the Sceptile. HP Bug is physical, by the way. And it's run for more so Celebi than obviously Sceptile. Sceptile is too, a bit uncommon. It's BL in this tier. It's not OU. But Endeavor is coming, but at this point I don't necessarily need Metagross. I know that with a Dragon Dance up, my Tyranitar can win the game. I know that his own Tyranitar cannot Dragon Dance up on my Metagross because Earthquake will be able to knock it out. I know that my Suicune does outspeed his Tyranitar, so basically it's time to go for game with my Tyranitar. So he brings out Jirachi, able to revenge kill me with the Thunderbolt. I went for Explosion right there just to nuke him pretty much if he decided to calm mind up, as he gets the crit on my Tyranitar upon switching, or when it comes out. But thankfully he does not get the pair. I'm able to Dragon Dance up, and at this point it's time we fire off an Earthquake. Does a hell of a lot, as my opponent is going to go for the second Thunderbolt. Thankfully he did not paralyze me right there, as I'm able to knock him out with the second Earthquake. And a little bit of an odd play, I think, at this point. He brings out Tyranitar first when his Poliwrath is revealed to have the Salic Berry, so I'm actually not sure why he decided to sack T-Tar first, because maybe with Salic Berry he could have forced me out. Obviously with Sand coming in and that, he would have only been down to 2 turns with Poliwrath, because like I said, Sand activates at the end of the turn and you get leftovers when the Pokemon comes out. But he's able to knock me out with the Brick Break. But at this point, Sand is going to bring him down to 1 more turn. All I can do is just safely sack my Suicune and let Sand do the rest, because once I bring out my Skarmory, even though it's asleep, it's going to be able to knock him out with the Sandstorm. So his own T-Tar bringing his demise right there. And that is going to be game 2. So here we are with the final game. Again, this is a best of 3. And I lead Gengar, he leads Metagross. I missed Hypnosis last game twice, so I really don't want to risk it turn 1. So I decided to switch on to my Porygon. This team, I noticed, doesn't have a good switch in to Metagross. I do have a Suicune, I believe, but I think it's more offensive, so I didn't want to take him on anyway. I didn't want to reveal it just yet anyway. So I go for Thunder Wave, knowing I can at least paralyze him and maybe play around him. I was trying to see if he was banned or not, but gonna hit him to recover. That's definitely not banded damage though, based on that, as he misses the next Meteor Mash. So at this point, I'm gonna hit him with Thunderbolt. I need to weaken him because I do have a Doug Trio on my team, and I want to be able to trap him. The main way that I'm trying to win with this team is a Charizard. So basically have Charizard, and then Dugtrio, have Dugtrio trap what Charizard answers are, which would be, you know, Tyranitar and things like that. So he reveals his Celebi. I decided to go for the Calm Mind as he did reveal Rest, and I'm just going to fire off an Ice Beam. I am an offensive Suicune. I unfortunately get a crit, so we're getting some hacks early on in this game. As he's going to bring out Zapdos. I know that he can't knock me out from full with anything, especially because I'm boosted. Even if I wasn't boosted, he couldn't. So I fire off an Ice Beam as he does paralyze me right there. I get an insane revenge hacks right here as I freeze him. It's crazy because a lot of people joke about Italian luck, and I don't know why I'm not classified under that on Smogon, because they talk about, oh, the Italians are so lucky. And my opponent is actually Italian, but I'm Italian as well, so I have no idea why I'm not classified. You know, classify me. Hello, I want you to be stereotypical with me. In any case, he goes out to Gengar. He tries to make a really hard read and goes for Hypnosis, maybe expecting me to try to do out my own Gengar, maybe like an Explosion or something. As that fails, I'm able to knock him out with the Hydro Pump. Tyranitar is going to come out, and right here he is going to go for the HP Grass, as I'm going to be fully paralyzed. So I'm completely fine with that though, because if he decides to sack his Tyranitar, even if I get fully paralyzed right here, I can then bring out my Choice Band and Dugtrio, and while I won't be able to knock out his Tyranitar from full unless I was like Adamant Choice Band, which is a thing, Dugtrio does sometimes run Adamant Choice Band, but not on this team because it's really weak to Raikou. So I go for the Choice Band and Earthquake. As HP Grass, I am able to survive, and what I can do is knock him out with the next one. And unless his last is like Aerodactyl or something, I'm thinking it's going to be a bulky water like Suicune or anything. But here goes Cloyster, and this is great because at this point, I can just spam Earthquake. Cloyster does not have Shell Smash in this generation. It's Spiked, it's Rapid Spin, it's, I was about to say Scald, but no, it's Surf, it's Ice Beam. So I'm going to go right for the Earthquake just to weaken him to the point where my Gengar's Thunderbolt can knock him out. And after my Dugtrio goes down, I'm going to go right out into that Gengar. Going to hit him right with this T-Bolt. Like I said, I needed to weaken him to the point where my Charizard can come in and just spam Fire Blast. I mean, Charizard would have been able to nuke Cloyster anyway, but I don't want to risk a random explosion or me missing. So, go right for Thunderbolt, able to knock him out. And what I can do is actually go for Explosion right here, and that will force the end of the turn. After you explode, and you're faster, there's nothing else going on in that turn. So that forces the end of the turn, as I can now bring out my Charizard without having this Metagross do anything to me and fire off a Fire Blast and win the game. I do miss the first Fire Blast though, as he is going to Sleep Talk right here, and he actually misses his Meteor Mash. So this last game was crazy. This entire series was crazy, and definitely hacks on both sides. But I am able to land the second Fire Blast, and I'm going to be able to knock him out, and that is going to be a good game. So I take the round 1 of the ADV Cup versus NaCl for 2-1. So anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you everybody for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, do your thing. I'll be back with my DVP Cup games and Black and White and all that stuff. Nuzlocke later on tomorrow most likely, because I'm a bit busy today. We're actually taking out Shizzy, me, Guardy, and Mikey for celebrating him releasing Demigod and things like that, so that'll be fun. But in any case, guys, hope you all enjoy. Feel free to like, subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see you guys next time. And I don't have time to add an outro, so this is going right up. So yeah, later, guys.